Welcome everyone to the Electrical Culture of Safety Livewire program, where we delve into all the complexities of creating a culture of safety within the electric utility industry. In each episode, we feature interviews with subject matter experts, industry leaders, safety professionals, and field personnel from across the industry, where we discuss ways to develop a collective reflection of the perception, attitudes, and shared experiences of the safety culture within our industry. Welcome to ECOS Livewire.
Well, hello, Electric Culture of Safety line team. We are in for a treat here with our special guest, Mr. Micah Thompson. I've seen, a lot of you probably have seen his posts on LinkedIn and things like that, as far as getting the word out there, as far as safety, his passion, and just getting his influence out there and bringing us together as a team. So Mr. Micah is like perfect fit for what we're doing, what our electric culture of safety is all about. So we're going to hear Mr. Micah's Livewire story here today. So I'm really excited about this. And I saw him at the International Lineman's Rodeo. We'll talk a little bit about that just briefly. And but let me read to you his biography. Micah is a loss control trainer director with the Electric Cooperatives of South Carolina. After graduating from Airport High School in 2002, Micah began his commercial and industrial electrician career. He worked for 3.5 years as electrician for Mallard and M&M Electric, and another 3 years for the University of South Carolina in the high voltage department. In 2008, Micah began employment at Mid-Carolina Electric Cooperative in Lexington, South Carolina. He was a lineman for the cooperative for 10 years and then a crew foreman in the substation department for another 3 years. In January 2022, Micah joined the statewide association. He is currently enrolled in John Brown University studying psychology. He is married to his bride of 18 years, Miss Ashley Thompson, and they have 3 sons together: Graham, 16, Hudson, 15, and Grayson, who is 6. And Mr. Grayson may pop in and out here once in a while during this, so that's cool. This is real stuff, man. And Mr. Micah, where are you at, man? Come on aboard, brother.
What's going on, Brett? How are you, bud?
Hey, man, doing good. And I got to see you last week, and I'm glad that you're here to share your Livewire story with our folks out there across America, and to get to know you and what you're all about, and what you're thinking about moving forward, man, as far as our industry. So let's get started. You ready?
Yeah, dude. I've just got to say, man, so we've crossed paths a couple times, and really it's kind of shocking, considering our location right here in Columbia together. Our footprint and our territories overlap quite well. And then I met you a few years ago when you spoke at one of our foreman's conferences. Oh, yeah. That was the first time I met you. So I'm just thankful to be here, man. I'm honored to be a part of any conversation that you guys are having. I think that it's the next big thing for our industry is to talk more and more and more and get real and honest and transparent. So thrilled to be here, man. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Man, Micah, I forgot about that, meeting you at the Foreman's Conference, Electric Cooperative of South Carolina. I forgot about that. That's been a few years ago, man.
That was probably 2017, 2018 in Greenville, South Carolina.
Dang. That was, I remember now. That was when, was it Miss Dorothy? Not Dorothy. Who was in charge of the safety program?
So it's Peggy. Miss Peggy Dantzler is our
Peggy.
Yeah, Vice President of Loss Control and Training. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, Peggy. Yeah. Miss Peggy helped get that started for me to come in those years ago. Man, I haven't seen her for a while either.
She's right here, man, leading the ship for our loss control training department. She's a rock. So glad to be a part of her team. I've been kind of chasing her for a while. I don't know if people know her history, and that's for another day, but I've known her for quite some time. She was a loss control training professional safety director at Mid-Carolina, my home co-op.
Oh,
So I know
really?
Miss Peggy. Yeah, I know her quite well.
Oh, wow.
We go way back.
So she was there when you were there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's interesting. That's awesome. So, wow. So yeah, so you came into. How did that happen, man? How did you transition from the electrician? Was it University of South Carolina, the high voltage, and then your eyes were open as far as making this your career, your next move? How did that happen?
Man, so I haven't gotten to tell this full story, I don't think ever in this type of setting. So, I hope people are ready for kind of a little ride. But I'm in here in my man cave, right, surrounded by these old artifacts, and you can't see it, but up on top of the wall here, man, is a picture of my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad was a commercial and industrial electrician for 40 years. And it's all I knew as a kid was school's not for me. God gave me a strong back. I love my dad. I emulated my dad. And I was like, I'm going to be an electrician. That's just it. There's just nothing else I want to do. I did side jobs with him. So I graduated in '02 and took a week off, went to the beach, came home. He got me a job and started doing electrical work just like that. I had worked a summer with him before through 11th and 12th grade, but that was it, man. I wanted to be like my dad. I've got his pliers up here and his old EMT pipe bender, and he really just was the foundation of so many things that have happened to me. So did electrical work 3 years with him all around Columbia, traveled a little bit. Then, I'm not a coincidence guy. A dude that I went to church with was like, hey, we got a high voltage department at the university that's looking for a new guy to come on board. Sure, let's do it. And it was hard leaving my dad. I thought I'd work with him forever, but had that chance to go and work in the high voltage shop. That was crazy experience for those 3 years. I was just turning 20 years old, 21 years old, working on campus at the university. And that department is a network system, and it's 99% underground in vaults and manholes and actual tunnels. There's 3 main tunnels underneath Columbia with the university infrastructure in it. So I got a crash course on high voltage work, confined space, manhole work, network, cable work, cable terminations, and all that, just off the jump. And I loved it. I loved it. And I love the guys down there. Still keep up with them quite regular. And the cool part about that, which kind of got me acclimated to the heights physically that I was going to encounter in doing line work, man, that shop took care of all the field lighting at the university. So I was on top of the lights at the soccer field, the baseball field, and the stadium at Williams-Brice. So it was really cool work, really challenging, really interesting. And then 3 years after that, man, it happened again. Another guy at church said, the co-op's hiring. And I literally said, what's the co-op? I didn't have a clue. I thought the investor-owned utilities had everything, and it was Duke Dominion or SCE&G at the time. And he said, no, the co-op, man, it's the same thing. It's just smaller. So, we're hiring. And literally went up there, filled out the application, got some interviews, and it was a miracle, man. They hired me on, and that's kind of the start of how I landed here.
Man, so the co-op took you in. Now, I do a lot spend a lot of time at the NRECA doing their safety leadership conference again this coming up 2026 as a presenter, and I get to know a lot of the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association folks and the ins and outs of how they work. But the one thing that impresses me a lot, Micah, about the cooperatives, and this is interesting, they took you in, they are a little smaller, absolutely, but man, there's one thing about co-ops that you can't really trade this for much out there, and that's the family-like atmosphere.
100%. So when I got there, man, just it's ridiculous how organic and how genuine everybody kind of felt. It really did. And, that goes to the 7 co-op principles, man, about caring about our community and what we're really here and what we're here to do, the mission of the co-ops. Now that I'm a history guy, it makes full sense when you go back and look at where the co-ops came from and how they started and why, and the people involved in that movement. And, it was kind of funny hearing, linemen have this terminology, right, that everybody calls things different things, but, hearing, no, we don't call them consumers, they're members. And being very purposeful with that, and employee appreciation meetings and employee appreciation dinners. And I never felt like a number as an employee there. And that carried over into the services we provided to our members. It was great, man. I've still got some great friends back there. It was kind of difficult leaving. I never thought I'd leave. But I got to step into a different type of cooperative space. So it's really cool. But yeah, that's the roots of the co-op, man. Small town, rural, help each other out, community. It's beautiful.
Well, it also helps shape and mold. Like you could tell your character, Micah. It helps shape and mold your character, and as far as all those attributes and characteristics, you're carrying all that into your next role as far as the leadership and the training and the loss control and all that.
Yeah. I emulate, and man, you've heard this before, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, but I am just simply the product of some amazing people, man, that just invested into me. That guy didn't have to tell me about that job that Wednesday night at church, but he did. He created opportunity for me, and the chance I had to be a foreman at a young age was people literally taking a chance on me, believing in me, and that encouragement, you just can't put a price on that. And I've told this story a bunch. The greatest foreman I had was not technically by the book, smartest lineman, smartest foreman, fastest, biggest, toughest, or safest, but he knew the names of my kids. And he cared about me, and he believed in me, and we overlook that a lot because there's a lot of technical training involved with what we do, and if we're not careful, we'll miss the human element side of it. So I'm thankful guys like you, ECOS, everybody you have on. I watch your stuff. I'm glad we're shifting some of that focus. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, Micah. It's just a neat thing. So, you're kind of like me. You understand fate and destiny, and you understand how things just come full circle, and it's like you just go with the flow, right? And you just trust and know that it's for the greater good as far as your fellow man all around you. As far as your next role, you help more people. Your next role, you have more territory. In other words, people that you're going to help. But there's one thing you don't know. At least I don't think you know. But Walter Beer, the owner of Bierermeters, when he came here to South Carolina, he actually was vice president of loss control with the Electric Cooperatives of South Carolina. Did you know that?
So you and I have kind of tippy-toed around this story before, and it's funny because you have a narrative from Mr. Beer, and I have a narrative from my legendary Mount Rushmore guy, Mr. Bobby Bloom. But that to say is Mr. Bobby Bloom and Mr. Beer, they work together, which is kind of crazy because Bobby Bloom was a trainer in our statewide for over 31 years. And the impact he had on this state it goes without saying. So I just recently stumbled across this, man, in talking to Bobby and then talking to you. I find it so awesome, right? No coincidence.
See, now you're telling me a new story. So Walter Beer, now we get kind of crazy here, but he credits Bobby with giving him that challenge in his mind, because we go through life not thinking we can do something, and then when someone says, hey, why don't you do this, And it's like, well, I never thought about it. Why don't you be a lineman or work at the cooperative? And you never thought about it. You said it yourself just a few minutes ago. But Bobby put the challenge in Dad's brain to build these tools. He did.
Not only to build, dude, a little bit, but this is how it was explained to me a little bit too. Not only some of the tools, but our statewide training center has been over in West Columbia, KC, Lexington, near the airport since the 60s. And it's called the Hoyt Williams Training Center. It's named after, I believe, the third loss control training professional statewide had. Bobby Bloom took over for Mr. Hoyt Williams in 1975.
Yeah.
And when he met Mr. Beer, he was trying to get some stuff made out at the training center to help teach. And I'm pretty sure Mr. Bobby and Mr. Beer made the indoor lab, transformer bank, overhead line, banking, testing equipment that we still use today. I'm pretty sure those two are the ones that built that training setup, that module. So
I
it's wild.
Yeah, I do remember Dad telling me this story about the training center. Now that you bring it up, that's crazy, man. Wow, full circle. Bud.
It's awesome.
Woo. So dang. So we saw each other at the International Lineman's Rodeo yesterday. So not yesterday, last week. I don't even know what day it is anymore. What do you think about it, man? Was that unbelievable? Your first time ever?
Man, I almost don't like telling kind of how my weekend went because it was really remarkable. You talk about coincidence and timing, man. I'm strong in my faith and a little too unapologetic. Maybe sometimes, I don't know, maybe not. But man, my weekend was so killer, dude. With being able to be there. We have a local rodeo that we host here at our state, which you guys are a huge part of and a great sponsor. And seeing the scale from Kansas City and the amount of people there was a little shocking. The trade show was unbelievable. I met some legends in this industry, some power players in our space when it comes to safety, innovation, technology. And it was my 18th wedding anniversary. So I had my wife with me.
Oh,
and we spent the weekend together. And if I get a chance, man, I'll tell the real reason why I was supposed to be in Missouri was I spoke at the Safety Summit last year with you. And I sat in on your session, and it was great. And when I did my breakout session, a guy came up to me afterwards and just was like, hey, that was really good. I'd love for you to come to my co-op sometime. And I was like, hey, if I can help, I'll do it. Fast forward several months, I get a call from a lady that is the admin director there at his co-op, and it's Southwest Electric Co-op. Shout out to them in Springfield. They said, we'd love to have you come speak. And I was like, well, let's go. So I was going to speak in Missouri Monday anyway. But then fast forward to more recent exposure and opportunities, I had a chance to partner up with the International Lineman Museum. And then they asked me to be on the board. So that was the real reason that I was in Kansas City, was to speak first at the co-op in Springfield, which I can talk more about later, but then to be a part of the International Lineman Museum, man, which is, I'm honored to be a part of that association now.
Dang, congratulations, by the way, Micah.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I talked to Mr. Mike Boyd. Is that your boy?
It has arrived.
That's awesome. Mr. Grayson, we got him on. That's great. So he's watching his dad. He's going to emulate his dad.
Hopefully he'll just be like his grandfather, not his dad.
No, that's really cool. I talked to Mr. Mike Boyd about the museum, and he gave me some information. We're going to get more involved in that as well. So that's beautiful. I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you guys being a part of that. Anything I can do to help, I'm the newest board member, but I'm excited about that project a lot.
Yeah, that's great. So, hey, you guys got some, hey, Mr. Grayson. Hello. How you doing, man? Just checking out Dad. Checking out Dad, man.
Okay. Get out of here.
No, that's good. Yeah, so I noticed you've been doing a few episodes, a few podcasts with Mr. Mike Starner with NECA, the outside line safety rep for all of NECA across the United States, called Hot Mics.
Yeah,
Now who came up with that?
I love that guy.
No, he's awesome. Mr. Mike is just amazing guy, and he's helped us get into NECA and the presentation and all that with NECA's safety annual safety and leadership conference as well. And so he's just a great guy. And so what's up with the hot, man? I get the mics, okay? So I mean, like, I know how Mike is, so there's definitely a play on words here, buddy.
So it is. I'm a very cheesy metaphor, analogy, play on words kind of guy, and so that happened. So cool. Mike and I were at the safety summit. There it is again, NREC Safety Summit last year, and we had met in my CLCP certification class. We were in the same class together, and so we formed an instant bond in the class up in Madison, Wisconsin, where the NRACA hosts that certification. And I think Mike was on here talking about that 4-week process. So we met in CLCP, and then running into each other at the safety summit again, we were just talking. And he was like, well, what's up with you? And I just started throwing some stuff out there that I've had this crazy idea of a podcast, and I want to do some history podcasts and talk to some old legends and get some interviews of some of these older linemen. I'm not trying to be morbid or silly, but like we need to document some of these older guys, and interview them and talk to them and listen to them before, we may not have that opportunity. And he was like, well, what's keeping you from starting your podcast? I was like, I don't know, time and energy and all these other things. And he was like, let's go sit right over there and do it. And so we sat in the lobby of the hotel, did episode 1. Next month's episode, he's like, guess what? I got us a killer name. I got us a logo. We got some music. I got a background. It's going to be called Hot Mics, just 2 hot mics. And I was like, whatever, man, let's go. So make sure you Google, safety and Mike Starner and Micah Thompson. There is another hot mic out there that you may not want to navigate to. But, yeah, we're hot mics, safety professionals, and I'm so excited. We don't know what we're doing, but we're having a blast. We're talking to some great people. We'd love to get you on and trade some more ideas and keep this conversation going, obviously. But, man, we're just winging it. Mike said it really good. He was like, we're just a couple high-tech rednecks trying to make a difference. So I'm honored to know that guy, too, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, how can the folks that are listening to this, how can they tune in and grab your episodes?
Yeah, right now we're just on YouTube, and you can channel that through my LinkedIn or Mike's LinkedIn. We post when we're going to drop episodes, and just find it on YouTube, Hot Mics MICS, and then put our names in there, and it'll pop up. We've got 6 episodes out. We're recording an episode Monday, and we're going to do another interview coming up, and then hopefully share some of the road travels we've been doing too. So, appreciate the shout out. We don't know where it's going to go and turn into, but we're just having fun, man. We're trying to do the same thing you guys are doing, just make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to work together too. As you guys are trying to make a difference, we're trying to make a difference. I know Mike is trying to make a difference, but yet together, collectively, that's how it really comes together. Right there.
You're exactly right. When we got to CLCP, I thought I was going to be in a room with just co-op people. And when Mike introduced himself, no joke, I was like, well, who let that guy in here? Like I thought this was an NRECA thing and a co-op thing. And man, when I heard him speak, and I heard him start answering some questions and then asking some questions, and then got a chance to meet that guy in the hallway on the break, I was like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. It's a different perspective, man, that I wouldn't have had access to. And if we put ourselves in a box or keep ourselves in departmental silos or industry organizational silos, we're doing ourselves a detriment. We really are. We're constantly needing to grow and expand and and network, and it's beautiful, man. You know, it's just sharing ideas as a collective.
Yeah, maybe that's partly where you get the hot from. Maybe I'm just saying.
It's not our looks. It's not our looks, man. I'm telling you, that's not that play on word. Let's just go with like a hot take or hot work for line work. Let's leave it like that.
There you go. So hey, you brought up something. You brought up something as far as growing, continuous learning, and you're going after, you're studying at John Brown University for a psychology degree. So why did you pick psychology degree? Tell us a little bit about your why and how that came about.
All right, so I'll try to be quick, but you know it's going to take me a second to hash all this out. I went to work to dodge college. You know what I'm saying? I went to works because I didn't want to go to school, and it wasn't for me, and I couldn't wait to get into the trades, and then get into the co-op. You know, that was my first reality check. They were like, hey, we use NLC, and you're going to go to school, and here's your modules and your OJT. And I was like, well, that's so much for that, right? And so got a little crash course because I'm thankful our electric cooperatives use that NLC curriculum, got a great partnership with them. And then when I got to ECSC, one of the requirements, prerequisite, whatever you want to call it, for the position was they wanted somebody to have a degree, and if you didn't have one, they would support you getting it while you're on the job. And then I was extremely thankful that, you know, they allowed me to choose the direction of what I wanted to study as long as it would benefit my co-ops and as long as it made sense for the type of work we did. So I had always was intrigued a little bit by sociology or psychology. Believe it or not, I do like the way we think. I like challenging the way we think. I've always been a guy to push up against some narrative and not just go along with the flow, so to speak. So decision making was interesting to me. What's the root behind what really makes us tick? Because if we're not careful in our industry, it'll be, well, this happened strictly because of this. And we won't go beyond the classic root cause analysis. We won't look at anybody's social, economic upbringing, where they were born in the country, what their diet, their home life, all these different things. So I just like the way that we thought. And then I can't take credit for it. I went to the Gaff and Go rodeo 2 years ago, and guess who was speaking as the keynote speaker?
Who's that?
Chad Johnson.
Oh my gosh, stop.
And Chad, man, there was 800 linemen, 1,000 linemen in that room, and Chad did 45 minutes on pride, and I was front row, and I couldn't believe it, and I followed him off stage with my little business card shaking in my hand and was like, can we please talk? Wow. I can't believe what you just did. And man, he and I formed a friendship, and I can't believe we're still friends today. I love that guy, and he just graduated with his master's in psychology and business from John Brown University. So I'm literally stalking that guy and in his shadow because I had those interests. And when I talked to Chad, he was like, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. It does matter the way we think.
Absolutely. So I interviewed Mr. Chad on a live wire story a couple months ago. And man, oh my gosh, he was amazing. He actually is going to come out to South Carolina and give a presentation for ECOS at our live wire or live line training center here in South Carolina. He is coming out here, and you may want to be present, Micah, if you're around. Chad is coming out here March the 11th to speak. So you're welcome to join us here, and maybe we could do some lunch together afterwards. But March
that would be
11th.
Great.
Yeah,
that would be great. That'd be great. I just had a chance to talk to him yesterday. He's building a conference there in Arkansas, and he was trying to see about some guest speakers. And I'm really, really stoked that my coworker, Travis Renwick, who's also a loss control training director guy at our statewide, he kind of tutored me when I got here, showed me so much. Travis is going to go speak in Arkansas and help Chad out, and Chad's going to come in March to our superintendent foreman's conference. So,
oh man, that's So when is that conference? That makes sense. It's in that
Uh,
same.
I think it's the following week. I think he's going to come
Wow.
hang out with you, and then the following week he's going to be with us in March.
Wow.
Don't
That's
don't
awesome.
quote me. I want to say 22nd, 23rd, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, Chad. Yeah, his live wire story, Chad's, it was incredible, and we talked about continuous education. And going back in line with this, Micah, I've noticed that there is a clear definition between those who are in it just to be in the industry for a paycheck, and then there's a big gap from that to those who are in it because they want to do their very best so that others can be their very best. And continuing education is a huge marker in that story.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I don't think, some of the guys that are in it just for the check are doing it consciously,
Yeah.
or unconsciously. I just think everybody gets their own story, man, and their own history that they get to make. And so, like, I came to this realization, Brent, only probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, that for a long time I thought my purpose was electrical work and line work. And I was wrong, but I wasn't totally off. What it was is that was my passion, was electrical work and line work, and through that it led me to my purpose, which is people.
Boom.
And I get to disguise it in this thing called safety and this thing called compliance, which are ugly words, right?
Yeah.
But man, it's just so amazing, because if we lose sight of that personally and professionally, man, this world's in trouble. And that's the heart of the co-ops is member owned, and we care about one another. And again, I had countless people that just poured into me and cared about me.
So that you just brought something up that's really, really powerful is the caring thing, and the compliance. Those ugly words, compliance and rules and regulations, command and control, right? So the command and control basically is creating a culture, basically, so that your employees have to do this. But when you talk about caring, you talk about valuing people, then what happens is you turn that around. It makes a cultural shift. And now it's not because they have to do it, but now they get the buy-in that they really want to do it.
Absolutely. Man, early in my career, when I had those chances and I had those guys invest in me, and like I do a leadership class where I talk about the phenomenon that's called the Pygmalion effect. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not.
No.
It's a story about a Harvard professor named Robert Rosenthal that wanted to wrestle with the idea that how you believe in somebody can actually shape and affect their outcome. And it's really all boils down to labels and perception.
Yeah.
And how it doesn't affect them as much as it affects you. And our preconceived notions and labels can become self-fulfilling prophecies, is what it is.
Powerful.
And so I do some leadership class on that, man, and I tell about histories in our industry that we all know about, but we don't know the guys behind the scenes that gave them their chance.
Yeah.
And so I try to tell their stories, and then I tell my own story. I am again the product of so many people, and a guy looked at me one day and asked me if I could climb a pole. It's this cool story that's kind of caught on about a foreman put his arm around me one day and said, "Papa needs a squirrel." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he pointed up at this pole and he was like, "Papa needs a squirrel." And there was 30 other dudes out there. But why'd he ask me? He saw something in me I didn't see in myself.
Yeah.
And he instilled confidence in me that I didn't have in myself. He gave me an opportunity, man. And leading is about bringing others with you. It's not about charging out front. It's about being behind the scenes. So I'm just glad I get a chance to maybe make a dent like some of these other guys have done and you're doing and others like Mike and Chad and all these other crazy cool guys in our industry that are really making a dent, man. I think that's the next piece. I think for a long time there were no rules and we got safety rules and the numbers went down.
Yeah.
And then we need better training. And I agree that we do, and we upped our game when it came to training and started apprenticeships and technical colleges, and you guys do all the great work you do out at your place, and training got us to here. And I think the next wave is getting back to the people who are making these decisions.
That's 100% accurate. So you're familiar with the energy wheel, correct, Micah?
Yep, that was the class I sat in. You did at the safety summit. Yep.
Yeah,
that was great.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're the 10 elements that could cause harm, right?
Yeah.
Right, and then it came to my attention a couple of years ago that people's been missing.
I want to get out.
So we add people, things that can cause harm, but then we turn it around, right? And then these are things that can help you, and it's all about your team, all about people. And that's exactly where we got to take it, is to where we make what we're doing. The number one thing is people, and the byproduct is making sure that the customers are getting electricity. The byproduct is we receive a paycheck. The byproduct is we have a job. But the main thing, the main purpose, like you said, our true purpose, and the only way that we're going to be satisfied as far as living here on this earth, is if we make it about people, period. And the rest is just byproducts. That's it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So, man, if I can do it, in a brief moment, I thought I was going to Kansas to see the rodeo and to speak at this co-op. And I was going to squeeze an anniversary trip in there, right? No, man, I went to Kansas City to meet Barbara and Kevin at the bar of this restaurant we had lunch at, who sat next to myself and my wife. And then through her talking to my wife, I found out her dad was a lineman for 38 years. He started a tool distribution and equipment company in Wisconsin and ran it out of their house for years, with her mom doing the books, and then sold it. And he was a lineman 38 years, and she had his hooks and his belt in her office, and she didn't even know the rodeo was in town, and she didn't even know there was a Hall of Fame. And I got to talk to her for an hour, and we were in tears when we were done. And I'm going to try to tell her dad's story now and figure out who this guy was and this company he started and sold. And that's why I went to Kansas.
Yeah.
It wasn't to go look at the rodeo. And then you fast forward to, I got to speak at that wonderful co-op. Well, then I'm up front doing my line history stuff, man. And I look over, and my wife's got this other lady, and they're about in tears, and they're hugging, and they're sharing some story. And then Josh Wolf, the guy who met me in Dallas, he follows me to the parking lot, puts a wooden cross in my hand, tells me that the week before he saw me in Dallas, he experienced a huge tragedy in his life, almost skipped the safety summit, walks in there to hear me and says, "Something you said changed me forever." What? What just happened, right?
Yeah.
What just happened? This thing is so much bigger than line work and safety if we'll, acknowledge it. I know that may sound like a bunch of fluff, man, but it's really the reason behind everything. And the most successful crews I were on, the safest crews I were on, were the ones where we were talking and we knew each other and we cared about each other. And it really drives efficiency and safety when people are appreciated.
Yeah.
From an organizational standpoint to a one-on-one.
Yeah, that's, man. So you brought up, let's talk about something, because this is like something that's hidden in plain sight. And what I'm saying is communicate. You brought that up at the beginning. You're bringing it up right now. so I want to bring something together, all right, in your head and whoever's listening to this. I want to bring this together as far as communication. So there's the speaker and there's the listener, right? And then it switches, but there's a speaker and a listener. And a lot of folks, they say that talking is maybe 1/3, listening is valued maybe the other 2/3, or 75% is listening. You've heard this, 25% speaking. But, and I was at a MECE conference in August in Texas, and it was a round table, and that's what they said. Communication, listening and speaking, but communicating is so important. And I said, nope. I said, you're all wrong. Okay? And they looked at me like I was a freak. And I said, it's not speaking, it's not listening, it's not about communication, it's about comprehending. And what you're saying, your wife's talking to this lady, you're talking to this guy. When we bring that heart and mind together as one, all right, in unity, we're a team. But when we do that, that's when we get the comprehension. And until we do that, we're going to have miscommunication. We're going to have people guessing and assuming. And that's all it's going to be. Talking and listening. You're going to get all these filters from when we were children. You're going to get all these misconceptions and different perceptions and environments. But until we can get to the how and the whys, right here, until we get there, we'll never have comprehension. But what you're saying, like with Chad Johnson, getting together with him, like Mike Starner, when you guys come together like brothers, that's actually comprehension. That's what it means, comprehension.
So comprehension is another way to say understanding or knowledge, right? The way I hear it. And I'll give you two of my favorite quotes. Aristotle said, "The highest form of human intelligence is the man who can hear an idea without accepting it." And it's talking about listening. And then Einstein said, "You don't really know what you're talking about, and you're not an expert unless you can explain what you do to a 4-year-old."
I like that.
So think about that.
So
we have to be able to listen. It's the old 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? But no, go further than that. Like, we don't really create true change without experience. That's a William Martin thing. Dr. Bill Martin, guru, is all about frequency and experience that drives decision making. And I believe that. But I think another thing is, and this is hard for the lineman, is vulnerability. I really do. And it's the willingness and the courage, and I'm gonna get to this in a minute, man, to go, hey, that's me. Yeah, no, I've messed up before too. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you how. And the courage to be vulnerable will affect other people because it creates an environment where they feel safe and they're not operating in fear, man. It's 4:30 this morning. I'm driving to my co-op, talking to my other CLCP buddy from another state who's about to step into a meeting that's going to get driven by fear. And somebody's going to be on the chopping block. And then I walk into my co-op this morning, and unbeknownst to me, before I get up, they're like, "We got a near miss we need to talk about." And from the VP down to the ground worker, man, it was full transparency. Why? Because we failed safe. Brent, nobody's talking about failing safe. That's what a near miss is. It's an opportunity. And nobody likes to mess up, man. I'll be the first to tell you that.
Yeah.
But if I'm vulnerable enough to keep it real and say, I've made a mistake, man, I want other people to learn and not have to do that and go through that. You can take an agenda, you can take a safety meeting script and throw it away. If you can get a room to start doing that with linemen, they won't need me no more. Greatest thing that'll ever happen to me is I won't have a job, man.
No,
They won't need a guy coming around waving the flag, leading it if they'll do it. And so I think my role, your role, others, man, we're just trying to encourage this new way to think. I love telling this joke. My pops, man, he was 40-year Baptist preacher, Vietnam vet. He didn't really ask me what I thought a bunch. It really didn't really ask me my opinion a whole lot. And we get to the co-op and there's a lot of, hey, go get the ice and just shut up and dig the hole and don't even look at this clipboard. We're breaking those stereotypes down. We're creating environments now to where we're not coddling anybody. We're just treating everybody with respect up and down and letting these guys know that, hey, the rodeo's over, man. Take your cape off, bro. It's all good. We're all human.
And so, yeah, you're bringing up so many good things here, Micah. There's an example of what you're saying as far as vulnerability and courage and fear or no fear. I did some training with Trico Electric Cooperative in Marana, Arizona, several years ago, and I'll never forget this. Mr. John Dungan, who's over their safety and training department, great man. You and him would just hit it off. But anyways, right before my training, and I was not ready for this, we were outside. It was a nice, cool Arizona morning in January. Just you could smell the desert. It was beautiful. And he said, "Hey Brent, you gotta just wait just a minute. We're gonna have a little tailboard here with all of us." And I'm like, "Okay." And he opened. Now check this out, man. He opened the floor for anybody to share an incident that has taken place over the last week. And two linemen talked about their incidents as very small, very minor. One of them could have been even worse, but it was all good. There was capacity to fail safely in each instance. But you know what I admired about that crew and Trico, and they are like family, those guys together, is that they stood up. Both of the linemen stood up and were free to be vulnerable, free, and they had courage to explain what happened, because I'm telling you, man, they had no fear at all. And until we get to that point where we're vulnerable, we have courage, and we have no fear, we are not to date, now check this out, Micah, we are not to date our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper until those things are conquered and we have victory over them.
Oh yeah, I love that, and I fully agree. And man, you and Chad had a great conversation on here a few months ago, I believe, about accountability.
Yeah.
And on the front end, not the back end. And I just recently heard this. It's beautiful. I heard this like last week, that we cannot use safety as a shield of a perception. We need to use safety as a mirror of reflection and who we really are. And I can tell you, man, I was at a co-op 14 years, and from December to January, I was now the safety guy. I was the enemy. You know, I had to go and stand in front of these rooms and start to teach and train and learn myself about how to be a safety professional. So I'll tell you, the first solo mission I had on my own to do a safety meeting without the guy who retired before me, another legend, shout out Rusty Wanamaker, was at my home co-op doing forklift refresher training. And so what do I have to do? I have to immediately address that room and go, I broke every rule we're fixing to talk about. I took them for granted. I didn't think it was serious. And I'm the first one to say I shoulda, coulda, woulda done that better. We're not here to talk about me today. Let's talk about doing what's right. And I get some crazy looks when I say this, man, in my co-ops. If you do anything you say that you do because OSHA said so, or if you do anything you do because the safety manual says so, or you do it because there's some IEEE or ANSI standards or National Electrical Safety Code, man, go do something else.
Yeah.
I love you, but don't do anything you do for those reasons. Do it because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
And we're talking about other people. Let me get on a soapbox real quick. Check this out.
Yeah.
So I'm the history guy, right?
Yeah, man.
I told you I'd circle back to this. I'm a book guy too. Lineman Cableman Handbook.
Mm-hmm.
The first one came out in 1928. So we're about to celebrate 100 years of documented, printed, binded rules, okay? There's a section in the handbook that says what it takes to do this job safely. How to do overhead construction safely. And it's got a list of the attributes that it takes to do this work we do safely.
Yeah.
The first two things are self-possession, number one.
Wow.
And number two, written in the handbook. This isn't Micah. This is documented from 100 years ago. Courage.
Wow.
And it's two subsets. Physical, A, and it doesn't say a thing about it. You know what B says?
What?
Moral courage.
Dang.
And written behind it in the handbook, it says moral courage, the willingness not to take a risk or chance.
Man, that's like has not been here. That's like disappeared. And Micah, we got to get to the beginning. We got to get to the beginning, bud. We got to turn this back around to where it was.
We're going to.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Isn't that great?
That's beautiful.
And that's 100 years. So I say that in some rooms, and people are like, self-possession. Well, that's just ownership.
Yeah, right.
I don't do what I do because safety man's on site. Now I'm a different person. Now character's who you are when nobody's looking. That's self-possession. It's got to matter to you. It really does. And then moral courage. Well, I think 2025 could use some moral courage all around us, right? So our industry is no different.
No, every industry.
And here's the trick. Here's the trick, man. I'm sorry. Here's where I try to encourage all my linemen and anybody listening.
Mm-hmm.
Man, all right, yesterday we wouldn't have done that. All right, well, that's gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's gone. Have the moral courage in that tailgate, on that dock, in that safety meeting to go, yeah, yesterday we sucked.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that no more. That's what moral courage is.
Mm-hmm. No, I love it. But I do. I'm going to challenge you a little bit because you brought up something as far as you train these guys up and then you won't have a job no more if they would work together as a team and that moral courage was all the way through the team. But a gentleman in APS in Arizona, Daryl Yoakum, great guy. He's getting ready to retire not too long from now, which is, to me, it's a little unfortunate because he's so passionate. But he's over the safety and the training as well with APS. But what's interesting is, and this is good for you, Micah, to probably hear, is that he considers himself a safety coach. Okay, now check this out. I'm very serious. That's his title, safety coach. And what they do is they try to instill and enable all their folks to activate themselves as the safety guy. Everybody on that crew, and all Daryl is there for is to be that coach, so that team of everybody is a safety guy is equal. That team can succeed and have the victory of each and every day, the game day, right?
I love that. I love that. People that I've had a chance to meet in these January before years are like, are you some kind of motivational speaker? And I'm like, well, not necessarily, but if that's what you hear, then yeah. And for my specific role, Brent, the electric co-ops that I work with at our association, we offer, myself and the other gentleman, Travis, he and I travel and hit 7 safety meetings a year at every co-op. There's 18 co-ops that we work with. So I've got half of that. We do 1 virtual and 6 live. So I've got 3 in-person safety meetings with every co-op in the state for a year.
Yeah.
I've I've got to rethink what it is, even when it comes to what we're going to call each other in the future, if I'm going to make an impact, because I've got 3 hours a year with these guys. I get to come in and be a part of their meeting and do crew visits and site visits or whatever they ask of us to do, and then I'm out.
Yeah.
And so I think the challenge for me and my other safety brothers out there, and guys like yourself are doing such a great job. And again, we're all just trying to work together. We can't reinvent the wheel, but we can come up with new ways to roll it. And so I think my job, I love that coach thing. I might steal that, one day if we reshape what we call things, because my job is just to come up with a way that affects these guys and gets our message across of how we do things, and the hierarchies, the controls, and all the training and all the specifics and all the technical stuff. It's my job, I think, and responsibility to make it matter. Anybody can Google 1910-269, and anybody can chat GPT any rule and regulation they want on their phone instantly. What they can't put behind it, Brett, that you do so well and many others, is put purpose and vision and meaning behind it. And that's, I think, is a challenge for me and others, is to give that how and give that why, just like you said, and make it really matter.
Yeah. So, if you look at the person as a whole, to me, I look at the rules and the regulations and the training as kind of like superficial. You got to do it, but to me, it's the what. Okay, it speaks of the what. So to me, that's superficial. Like Micah, you're sitting there. Folks that are tuning into this, and they're going to see this later at some other date, they see you sitting on the chair, and that's Micah Thompson, the what. But when you start sharing your heart, that's the how. You start sharing what's in your mind to others, that's the why. So if we're a car salesman and all we're trying to do is just sell the dang car to whoever, that's the what. And to me, that's zero successful. But when we have those people come in and we say, hey, why do you need this car? What is your purpose? What's the reason behind it, long term, short term? What are you going to use it for? And what's your can you afford it? What's comfortable? Is there room? What are the needs? And we need to do that with our crews. And that's what a safety coach is all about, Micah. And you're not stealing that, by the way. You can, dude, we're brothers, and brothers share, right?
Yeah, sometimes. That's right. I had one, so yeah, I'll say sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
No, man, I appreciate it, and you're right, man. It's, if I'm not careful, I get on a soapbox real quick. But from my vantage point, man, the world I live in, we're still called co-ops.
Right.
We're not.
Right.
We're not corporate, and I don't want to get too big that we HIPAA this thing to death and we lose sight of our family values and our rural upbringing and our heart. And again, the greatest foreman supervisors I ever had, they knew me.
Yeah,
they knew me.
Right.
And then we had an established relationship before there was an incident or an accident.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the boss and the grunt or the foreman and the apprentice. It was me and Jerry. And it was me and this other man that I knew, that I had respect for, and I didn't do the incidents or the things that I had to tarnish his testimony or reputation or the company's, just like mine. And man, I cared about him so much, and so many others, that it wasn't rules anymore, man. No. They weren't rules anymore. It was the right thing to do.
That's right. That's the attitude. And Caleb, when we get that attitude, as you're saying, that's truly when we're building our line legacy. We don't, if we're just in it and we don't really care about the other people, we acknowledge they're there, but we don't maybe not necessarily care about them, man, we're not leaving behind any legacy at all, as far as something that's impressionable on the hearts and the folks of people, that when we leave and we leave that career for whatever reason, our line legacy continues to live and thrive and is cultivated and it's elevated within those folks that we influenced after we're gone.
Man, I'll give you two pieces of history on that, man. So beautiful what you just said. George Westinghouse died in 1914 while he was working on an electric wheelchair. He was working on the patent for an electric wheelchair. Did he need one? Nope. Did his wife need one? Nope. Somebody else needed one. He saw it as a benefit for others, service leadership. And one of his more infamous quotes is, I'll butcher it, forgive me, but if they say of me when I am gone that I will have benefited or done something to help my fellow man, it will have been a success or worth it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's awesome.
That's it. We're all going to leave the room one day.
Yeah.
We're all going to be out of here. And the only thing you can take to this afterworld is others, and the only thing you can leave behind is your testimony and your reputation and your influence.
Beautiful. Beautiful. This is going to impact a lot of people. I know that, Micah. And I'm going to ask you a couple questions, okay? And
sure.
we didn't pre-ask, or I didn't pre-tell you what I was going to want to talk about.
That would have been nice. I was hoping.
Nah, I don't do that, man. I like genuineness. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so you're looking at our industry. You've been part of this industry for quite some time now. You are given two things, and those two things that you're given, you're going to fix them. No matter what, you will be successful in fixing these two things within our industry that need to be repaired or need to be implemented. What two things are you going to fix?
I'll say one is what we kind of been talking about already, man, that we're trying to tackle right now, and that's the communication breakdown throughout organizations, and where values and purpose and vision don't align from the top to the bottom. And I've seen that a little bit across my career where, top's ready for change, bottom's ready for change, the middle management. That's where my heart is that middle management. Been around a long time, seen some stuff. Unfortunately, complacency will creep into that position as well, because there's a comfort level there, and there's a security there that everything's okay. Them young guys used to come to me back at the co-op and, Micah, why do we do this? And why? And I would just say, well, the lights are on. And as long as the lights are on, everything's just going to cruise. And so I would want to tackle the cruise, man. The guys in the middle of some of our institutions and organizations that may be just cruising, and encourage them and help break down some of those communication gaps. And the second thing, man, I would have to say, I don't know. It may be how we even train these next guys to come up. I'm a history guy, but this thing is rapidly moving, almost faster than we can get a hold of it. And so I would want to say that we have got to understand from an organizational standpoint, cooperative, investor-owned, muni, whatever, that in today's space, it's going to take investments. Time, obviously, which you and I are passionate about with our people, but there is going to have to be a monetary investment to have the most modern, up-to-date training, equipment, safety, tools, PPE, and just trying to help people understand that it's an investment, more so than a burden or anything else, because it's rapidly changing fast.
Yeah, you speak of, those are great. By the way, and we are going to take care of those things, and they're going to be fixed, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're going to get them fixed, Caleb, or Micah. You're going to get them fixed.
I like it. I'm a big speak it into existence guy. I'm cool with that.
No, it's going to happen. So, Micah, there's something that needs to be a part of these two things that are going to be fixed. And I would really like to see the brass, and I would really like to see the white collar guys put on that blue collar shirt and mingle and mix and make visits, see the crew, get out there, stay with them for a few hours, wear some jeans, wear the company FR, and just spend some time getting to know the guys when they're out in the field, when they're getting dirty, they're getting sweaty, and bringing some apples and bananas and some healthy things out there, and just giving them a break and say, hey guys, hey, let's get together, let's have a little powwow, and hey, what things are going good for you today? What can we improve on today? And then let those guys that are in those upper management positions and mid-management positions, let them get their hands dirty once in a while, some outdoor time with their crews, so that the crew realizes that, hey, guess what? We actually are on the same playing field. We are actually, our CEO is treating us like we're equals. And I'm telling you, man, we're going to get the buy-in at that point if we would just spend a little extra time away from our computers, away from the office. Just get out there and put some miles on those tires. Get the truck dirty down those roads. Get it stuck once every couple of years in the mud and the swamps. And really participate. We got to participate, man, as a team.
Man, I could listen to you just keep going. You're spot on with a lot of that. And the reason I'm excited and smiling is just I'm looking back over my career at how I saw that happen. I saw it happen. I was fortunate enough to see it with my own eyes and be a part of it. I had the president of the company of the co-op I was at walk my 5-year plaque out to the dumpster where I was cleaning off the digger truck that day, and shake my hand and give me my 5-year service plaque. And he knew my name, and he said, "You want me to put this in the cab, or you want me to take it in the office?" Fast forward 10 years later, he puts me, several other people on a strategy team to try to fix some of the things that we were having some issues with, man. And it was great because it was like, we're not here just to rebrand and paint the building. No, we're here to do some work. And he allowed us to speak, man. And he listened to us, and we changed our mission statement. It was this giant thing written on the wall that nobody could hardly remember. And we were able to collectively narrow that down to, we make life better. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. That's our purpose. That's our vision. So, man, I got to see a front row seat to that. And you're exactly right. The benefit that had to our organization was priceless. It was priceless to me. And, I think back years and years and years ago, it was kind of funny. There was like this unwritten rule where there was this spot in the hallway. Man, don't you go up there. You ain't got no business up there. Don't go up there. You stay back here on the dock, and you don't go up the hall, right? And man, the freedom that he allowed us to navigate that, and then we felt together. It wasn't like there was this whole other entity and whole other department. It was beautiful, man.
Wow, that's precious.
Yeah,
that's very precious, and
made a huge impact on me. And to your point about the guys, getting out in the field. I'll just shout out one of my co-ops up north, near Clemson in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Everybody can probably figure that out, man. When I was getting introduced to that co-op and I went up there for the first time to meet some of their staff and management, I came around the corner and almost ran into a guy. And I thought he was the service truck man. He's in full FR. He was in work boots, pen in his pocket, and we almost slammed into each other and shook hands, and he went his way and I went my way, and I got down the hall, and Rusty, again, the guy that I was with, was like, that was the VP of operations.
Awesome.
I thought he was headed to the service truck.
Awesome.
He had come from the field, and definitely that gentleman, Mr. Sam, had never forgotten who he was, and it was just kind of cool. I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't a VP. Yeah. He was in FR clothes.
Man, we need to bring that grassroots, man. We need to bring that 100 years ago back. brother.
We're going to.
Yeah.
With the Lyman Museum, with what you're doing, what I'm trying to do, man, and ride y'all's wave of influence, we're going to do it. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. Guys like Starner and guys like Chad and the guys in my CLCP and the Set Solutions and the Bill Martins and all these people, there's no way we're not coming together not to make a difference, man.
No,
it's going to happen.
It is happening. You can feel it. You can see it. The change is happening. And it's building momentum, brother. It is.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
So, Mr. Micah, what are you going to leave us here, man? We don't want to be on here too long because people got to use the restroom and their eyes are changing colors and they're feeling a little squirmy. So
I got a 6-year-old calling my name.
Yeah. So, man, leave us with something, man.
I'll leave you with 2 things, and it's from the presentations that I've had a chance to build. Excuse me. Just one. Mm-hmm. Treat a man as he is, and he shall remain as he is. But treat a man as he can be. Sit back and watch what he'll become.
Awesome.
Man, you want to affect somebody, you want to make a difference, we're going to have to change the way we think. We're going to have to get away from those old habits. We're going to have to get away from just doing it because the rule book said so. We're going to have to start believing in this next generation. We're going to have to acknowledge that we used to be that generation and somebody believed in us, and always create opportunity for others. And we'll see it, man. We'll see it in your career and mine. We'll look back and talk about it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Micah, man, appreciate you. Appreciate everything you're about and your character, your essence, and man, just so glad to know you and blessed to know you. And I know that you make an impact on a lot of people, and basically it's just beginning.
I appreciate it, man. And thanks for this opportunity to be on and share a little bit about what we're trying to do on the behalf of the co-ops. And I just can't thank you enough, and looking forward to what we're going to accomplish.
Man. Thank you. Take care, Mike.
Later, brother.
Take care. You bet, brother. Thank you.